talking about if these niggas want us or not. Excuse me, Kevin. This is not. I'm talking to black women real quick. Can we stop Can we stop posting all day on TikTok? Because I newly went to TikTok and I just kept seeing this. Black women, can we stop talking about if these successful black men want us or not? Like, can we just focus on us and we be successful, and then we go out there and we decide who the fuck we want? Because what I've been seeing is, I feel like I've been seeing men using that as an opportunity because they've been hurt and somebody done went to them, and they've been using it as a way to come out and lash out and poke fun at black women and use it as a way to feel like they somebody or they something. Or so for all you niggas that's doing that on TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all at, eat a dick, go away. Nobody gives a shit about you. And I want black women to stop fucking posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not. Okay? Well, I want black women just to focus on themselves, be successful, and then you go out there and you decide the trajectory of your life. Okay?
Well, here's
Hey yo. Hey yo.
Who you know, all they want to do is compete, you know, on social media, and so now I don't even think a lot of females know who they are anymore.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like your identity is based on your relationship. Your identity is based on, oh, look at what he does. Stop.
And like you said, you made a point earlier. I watched this whole live. I was up watching this whole live. Kanye, like, why you listening to Nicki all that? I was watching the whole live. But you said something that you was like, you know, people on the TikTok about the successful men, and you was like, you know, what about focusing on being a successful woman and getting your own and doing that? That's what I'm all about. And then we get to choose the type of nigga that we want to be with. We get to choose who we want to be with. And that's like what I've been saying a lot now. Like, fuck trying to get a nigga to wife us up or want to convince somebody why we're the one, choose us. Like, let us be successful, get our paper, and let us fucking choose them.
Bingo.
That's it.
Bingo.
That's it.
And a nigga know when you walk in a room, the type of female he looking at when it's the type of woman that walk in a room that can have any man she fucking want, just because of her aura, just because of her vibe. It doesn't mean, people think everything is about money. But even the same way we look at men, as men can look at women and see potential and see ambition.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
The push for role reversal could not be any more clear, gentlemen. Now, if you want to be the dude in the passenger seat of your girl's ride, I mean, wasn't that the whole theme of the song No Scrubs? At least in that one, it was the passenger side of your, what was it, the boyfriend's ride or something like that. But this is the passenger side of her car. I mean, this goes all the way back to, what song was that? Pebbles, My Mercedes Boy, where she pulls up in the Mercedes and literally gets the dude to get in the car. But anyway, I think this is rather self-explanatory. I don't think this needs a long, extensive breakdown. My point is that this is what these women are advocating for. And, you know, the double talk from the different camps of black women, the confusion, the lack of even acknowledging that you have huge segments of the African American community of black women who think just like this. And unfortunately, and I don't know why this goes on, you have men who will agree to arrangements like this, which only contribute to Cynthia G, Paris Milan, Chrissy arguments only contribute to it, because they'll point to those men and they'll say, see, and these men are weak and compared to other races of men, and that's why we don't submit, and that's why we don't respect y'all. They'll point to those men all day. They'll have an argument, and they'll act like black women are victims, to black men not manning up and not being men. But yet you have women who operate out here just like Nikki, even to lesser degrees. I mean, it's like cultural. You have women not even touching a fraction of Nikki's money who believe and think that they should operate like this. Not because the community is broken, but because of a belief system. As I tried to explain to somebody the other night, I was like, this has nothing to do with masculine and feminine. This has to do with a belief, an idea of one's own independence. The social contract between men and women has been broken. I don't think any human being, it's understandable that any human being wouldn't want to be subject to the authority of another human being, but be it that the fact that men are supposed to be physically more capable than women have to carry the children and things like that, that contract has been broken. With the advent of modern society, women can make money now, and they can essentially do a lot of things that historically women couldn't do. But see, what comes into question for myself is how much are the things that we previously thought to be, oh, that's female nature. Oh, women, they enjoy playing women's roles and whatnot. Okay, well, you tell me, if it's so natural for women to play these quote unquote subordinate roles, then why is it as soon as they get the resources that men typically have always controlled disproportionate to women, they start going out here and operating just like men? And I think, like African Americans, when it comes to how we're looked at as Negropians, African Americans coming out of slavery, the only model that they had to go off was white Americans. And so everything we do can easily be labeled as Eurocentric. And I think when women come into power, the only model that they have of how power moves or how they're supposed to move is based off of, what men do. Hence, Nicki Minaj's masculine energy snarling into the camera with her dude in the passenger seat like he's her prize. And I mean, based on his criminal history and everything that happened when he was 16 years old, because that's when he got hit with that sexual assault charge. And I understand the whole Nicki knew him as a person, when they were younger. But at the end of the day, you can try to logically walk through it all you want. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Again, these women are advocating, her and who is that, Lala? They're advocating for role reversal. And this is what we've been said. And this is why, I was frustrated and continue to be frustrated with Kevin Samuels. I'm like, do you not see how big this is? Do you not see how big of a problem this is? And he gets the one opportunity to go up there and actually, lay it out, to actually say it. Just like Grinch said, keep the same energy, my nigga. And he doesn't say it. He gets the opportunity to say it, and he does not say it. Now, I'm not saying Kev can't clean it up, but, I don't know what the man wants to do. If the man wants to go off and be Steve Harvey, then go off and be Steve Harvey. But I also think that it was many of our faults, collectively as the black male manosphere, for putting our faith, in Kevin and believing that, he was going to, carry the mantle of responsibility or carry the torch, not in every single aspect of his entire existence and making money and doing what he's doing. Like, if he wants to go off and, be funny one day and be comedic or it's not like every day you got to beat this drum of, the manosphere, but, you gotta chime in at least once a week and let the people know, like, hey, like I still stand for this, but I don't know. And people can argue that it's Kevin's fault. But if it's Kevin's fault, it's just as much the rest of the manosphere's fault for thinking that Kevin was going to carry that water, into the mainstream and whatnot. I still don't know what the goal is. I don't know what BGS is talking about. I don't know what the end game is. I think that, we know what's going on. You can't force women into a situation that they don't want to be in. If you recognize that a woman is like Nicki Minaj and she wants to run shit, you need to go off in the other direction. It's just that simple. I don't understand what all the fussing and the fighting and the butting the heads. Yeah, the women are going to come with the shaming tactics. They're going to say it's colorism, self-hate, and all this other shit. Again, I mean, do we need any more evidence, gentlemen? Do we need any more evidence? And mind you, all the women that follow Nicki Minaj and women like Nicki Minaj and the Megan Thee Stallions and the boss bitch, coalition and whatnot. Again, we have the celebrities that push this idea. At least they're in the position to actually live it. Not that we agree with it. It shouldn't be the model for the community. I've been saying that about a lot of things when it comes to black people in the black community. I'm like, when you see people that are unicorns and exceptions, just because they're in the spotlight or just because they're in a successful position does not mean that they should be the goddamn face of everything. It does not mean that they should be the template. I mean, it's like, in respect to her, it's just like when Tracy Ellis Ross was telling black women that, they should love their own hair and that they shouldn't want her own hair when she saw them fawning over her own hair. She knows that she doesn't look like she came off the Amistad and she shouldn't be the template for dark-skinned black women. She knows and understands that. And these women that are like Nicki Minaj and making millions of dollars, she should know that she's not the template for the majority of black women. But no, she doesn't. She overlooks that. It's misery loves company. And this rolls right into the whole For Harriet situation where they want to change the whole paradigm. They want to change the whole world, because, at the end of the day, going back to Patrice O'Neal, women hate being women. Because even when women achieve the level of success and accomplishments that men do, the way that society is structured, they don't get the same recognition. They don't get the same value. They don't get the same respect. They don't, even with, Nikki talking about choose the man, and she chose the man that she chose. When women get with low value men, they still don't get the validation. People are asking me, well, why is it these women even want high value men if they want to run shit and they don't really want what comes with a high value man? Well, one thing, many women would rather spend your money than spend their own money. That's number one. And then the second thing is that they don't get the validation. Again, going back to the overarching society that says that men who have resources, men of means, men of status, and men of success, who they pick is the woman that has the most value. So the women can go out there and they can operate in role reversal. The only man that's going to get with their program as a woman is a man who is subordinate to them. That's the only man who's willingly going to get with their program. So there's virtually no way for them to get the validation and be in control at the same time, because it will require them to get with this hybrid, high value man who acquiesces to his woman. But a man that is high value and is out there competing with other men who run shit and all that competitiveness that goes on between men is not the type of man to come home and bendeth thy knee to his woman. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know what planet that would happen on. But these women, they want to use shaming tactics. They want to try to warp reality. They want to say the black community is on some different shit or whatever. And I'm like, for further evidence, I direct you to the conditions of a black community nearest you. So I just argue, where is this working? You see? So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, this is blatantly obvious that this is wrong with this. And it's so bad that even the women listening to this right now who can't stand me, hate my freaking guts, know that what I'm saying makes logical sense. They know that there is something wrong with this picture. No matter how much they try to fit that square peg in a round hole, they know that what I'm saying is absolutely right if we want to talk about an intact, thriving black community. Okay? The men need to, need to be competitive. The men need to, be assertive. The men need to handle business, handle responsibility, and leadership will come with that responsibility, taking on the burden of those responsibilities at the collective level. I don't know what people get twisted about when they see a woman like Nikki who's super successful and simply don't write it off as, a unicorn. I'm like, okay, she's a unicorn. Yeah, she's operating like that, but that doesn't work for 99.99999% of the black community, because 99.99% of the black community isn't sitting on $80 million in their bank account. Even though I know that's her net worth, but I'm saying they're not even sitting on $1 million in their bank account. So to use Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, freaking Rihanna, or any of these other women, Serena Williams, I mean, just go through the whole gambit. To use any of these celebrity women as the blueprint and the template and how they structure their relationships and whatnot is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you get two celebrity couples and they're millionaires and they're once you get to past a certain level, yes, Nikki is right about what she's saying about the money not mattering like that and all that other stuff. But yeah, if she got with another man that's equally as successful, equally in that position. But when you're talking about your everyday type of people, where it takes two incomes typically for a household, or to be comfortable. And yes, I still believe the man should make more. But when you're looking at your average everyday, the type of houses or homes that many of our parents and grandparents grew up in when there was still somewhat of an intact, black community, that's, I'm saying, I'm just trying to get back to that. That's what I'm trying to get back to. And somehow, you get these successful women that, they think that they hit the warp drive or something and that they're heading into some sort of paradigm or some sort of future existence that, that we should all be headed towards, not realizing that nobody can really follow you there. At the end of the day, I don't care how you want to dice it. I don't care how many unicorn black women you want to present. Men are the builders and the maintainers of the physical infrastructure of any given community. And boys are not going to grow up with a strong sense of taking on the burden of that responsibility if they aren't respected and if they aren't in control of that which they're ultimately responsible for. These ideas that women think that they're going to go out there and be corporate America and then be a boss bitch and then add a man to their program, and that that their beta male man that is nothing more than a sick dog is going to, defend their honor and defend everything that the black woman owns with her freaking monograms on the seat and her name all over everything. You got another thought coming. Even when men are in that sort of position, men do not expect women to go out there and defend his shit with his name on it. They don't expect women to go out. That's not even a part of women's responsibility. But yet women somehow think, like Nicki Minaj, that they can go out here and that they can get and have this situation where they can be in charge, and that men that are in the subordinate position to them are going to take on all of the burden of these traditional responsibilities that men have always upheld. They're trying to create a paradigm that has never existed, and most certainly doesn't exist with the other groups that not only do we get compared to all the time, but, has never existed, with the other groups that ultimately we're supposed to compete against. I mean, it just makes no sense. And this is where you get the anger and the frustration that comes in with black women or against black women, and where black women just feel like, getting with any other race of woman is inconsequential, because you really can't do anything with a lot of black women who have these sort of mentalities. Mileage may vary to varying degrees. They have these sorts of mentalities. And these mentalities interfere with trying to do everything because they're just going to buck you because they resent you being in that position, even though they fully charge you with the responsibility of somehow producing from some sort of compromised or ass backward position the very things that they see other races of men producing. And this is also primarily the reason why these women are not interested nor trying to get with other races of men, no matter how much they talk about how much they want to swirl it up. There are true swirlers out there who are on this shit. Eve is a true swirler, and I don't even think that Eve went over there on some, ooh, I hate black men type of shit like the divestors. But Eve is a true swirler. Okay, she can navigate, she can go over there, and Eve is from the hood. But like I said, no tweets. You don't hear her talking crazy. Nothing. But these other women, they have problems with black male leadership, and they want to throw up the smoke and mirrors that, oh, we don't have a problem with white male leadership or Asian male leadership or Arab male leadership. Bullshit. Bullshit. Almost all of these black female celebrity women we seen go over the fence and, they mess it up. They just mess it up. Not because the other race of man is not attracted to them. No, but because they bring that I'm a boss bitch, I'm supposed to be in charge, Nicki Minaj energy over there. And again, those other groups of men, they don't have the damage and the history that the African American community has with slavery destroying all hierarchies and slavery being the great equal. They don't have all that bullshit. They don't have the self-hatred. They don't have the inferiority complex. They don't have the living in another group's, shadow and having the other group, set up standards and whatnot, and then deny black people or their groups the actual tools to fulfill those sorts of roles. Oh, here's patriarchy and traditionalism. Ah, yes. But the only way that you can get here is if you're in the socioeconomic position to be here. Oh, sorry, little nigga, we're keeping all y'all niggas out. And so you have this image that you're supposed to follow, again, as a Negropian, but yet you can't, even though I believe that these concepts of patriarchy are universal. It's not just European, but I'm saying we're in Western society, and so it's going to have obviously a Western Eurocentric twist to it. And again, we're African American. We're not African. Our culture is African American. It's not African. We know more about Western culture than we know about African culture. So it's stupid for us to always try to run around talking about, well, what are they doing in ancient Africa? Let's grab that model and then try to apply it in a Western society, in a Western sense. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's like trying to apply. That's like you're on the moon and you're trying to apply, how you would function and operate if you were, at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. It's like, yeah, I get what you're saying because you got to be in a suit to be in both environments, but zero gravity or low gravity and in a spacesuit versus super high pressure and freezing there's a difference there. I guess both of them have freezing temperatures, but you get what I'm saying? Yeah, you're in a suit, but they're both completely different environments. So, I mean, I just wanted to add this to the end of this video because y'all really need to understand why this does not work. This does not work. And the unfortunate thing is when you have women who think like this is what I've been saying for a very long time. You have mothers who were like this in the 70s and the 80s and in the 90s, and they raised sons. Okay? You tell me what type of alpha male if Nicki Minaj had a son. I don't even know if she has a boy or a girl, but if Nicki Minaj had a son, you tell me what type of alpha male he would be or how competitive or desirable he would be in the eyes of black women with a mother that's running around talking about, telling black women, you go be successful and you go choose a man, add a man to your program. That's ass backwards. And this is what I meant when I talked about that black woman that told me my daughter will be president and my son will just be a generic good black man. I'm like, he didn't even get a title. He's just a generic good black man. And this is how black women contribute to perpetuating the broken black community and the very type of black men that women like Cynthia G and Paris Milan and Chrissy and all these other women come online complaining about. Because when your mama is Nicki Minaj and she has this mentality and she went out there and intentionally got with a beta, who like, think about it, who's gonna be, if Nicki Minaj got a little boy, who's gonna be the male model for him? Kenneth Petty? Like who's gonna be the model for that for him in terms of going out here and being the type of man that's going to be able to compete against other groups of men and be out there and be a go-getter and then go and find a woman to add to his program. Because if he's the type to go out there and be capable of competing against other men, then he's not going to be the type that's going to have the attitude of, yeah, I'm going to go out here and get with a woman's program and be chosen like my dad was with my mom, Nikki. I mean, y'all just don't get it. And this, and again, this is why, like, black women heavily contribute to the brokenness of the black community and everything they don't receive, and they don't see it. They heavily contribute to it, only to turn around and then complain about the outcome of the shit like they don't contribute to it. It's insanity. So, I shouldn't have to make any more videos about this crap. The evidence is all over the goddamn place. And y'all want to sit online, talk about trash bag dusties and everything else. I'm like, y'all create dusties. Dusties come out of your wombs. And then you're teaching, again, if men are builders and maintainers of the physical infrastructure, builders, maintainers, and defenders of the physical infrastructure, women are indeed keepers of the culture. You all are the first teachers. And my question is, what the fuck are you teaching? What are you teaching? Seriously, what are you teaching? This? Is this what you're teaching? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, it's like most of the videos that I've seen about this whole Nicki Minaj, she checked Kevin and she did this and Kevin is this and Kevin is that, all this crap. Very few videos of people actually saying, other than like Shay Sade, saying, what, this wasn't a good look. What Chrissy, what she's talking is backwards. And I'll even give Chrissy some credit, because Chrissy did she did a video where she said, like, this is not the way that it should be, but she's still on the black men are trash and all that other bullshit. So fuck her on that shit. But the vast majority of all these other women, they're up there it's like they can't even see the ass backwardsness of it, which reinforces and highlights what I've been saying about how these women, got these issues, which is why they're not being chosen. Look at the sheer amount of women that can't even see what I'm pointing out and laying out in this video. They may see it after they listen to this video, but prior to listening to this video, all they can see is through the female lens of what they want to see about this situation, which is a woman dominating a black man. That's all they want to see. That's all they see in their female rose-tinted glasses. That's all they see when they see this shit. I'm like, you don't see this as ass backwards? You don't see this as problematic? You and then 15 minutes later, they're making videos talking about trash bag dusties and weak men and role reversal and beta males and all this other shit. And I'm like, you were just fucking talking about it's okay that what Nicki Minaj said, and you go out there and be successful and then add a man to your program. No objections. Y'all ain't got no objections when she's up there saying that shit. Then when you actually get the outcome of that and you got nothing but a bunch of beta males that are sitting in the passenger seat of a chick's, $500,000 vehicle, now you want to talk about trash bag dusties. Now you want to talk about what's not being built. Now you want to talk about how the black woman is unprotected. Like, again, this is why y'all talk out of both sides of y'all face. It's insanity. And I don't encourage any black man to sit around and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about over this shit. I don't encourage none of that shit because it's been exposed. You quote, I don't even try to make it like a victory, but you quote unquote lost the gender war. You lost. Because what you're advocating, what you've been advocating for, and your lack of cooperation and submission is largely based on you just don't want to cooperate and submit. You're like, I'm making my own money now. We're doing this, and that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? And all this crap of, your man must make, 5 times what I make in order to submit, and all this other nonsense. When real talk, you don't want to submit. It's just a busy assignment. You just throw up some big hyper inflated number that you think that no man's going to be able to achieve so that you don't have to deal with the situation. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that freaking white people do. They sit there and they're like, the black community is fucked up. Yes. And then they'll say, well, see, look, there's all these scholarships here, blah, 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 for black students. But, they never graduate. They don't get there. But just like, what's his name? Amos Wilson said, he was like, yeah, let black students just all of a sudden start making straight A's and getting top scores on the SATs, in the city of New York and qualify for scholarships and go to schools and the best schools and all that other stuff. And then come out like the Asians. All of a sudden, right? Those same white people that were talking about, well, they're black people, they're not qualified and that's why we don't hire them because they don't have the skills and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If you flooded them with nothing but a bunch of, educated, high skilled black people, all of a sudden this conversation would switch up real quick. Oh, well, see, these jobs are for us. Oh, why don't you go off and create your own job? See, it would be like that. Now they would switch their tune up, and women do the same thing because they don't ever expect you to be there as black men. They don't ever expect you to get there. They don't want you to get there. They want to keep using Ray Ray and Pookie and Dusties and everything else to justify their arguments because if from the female position they can because they're women. They're like, well, I'm not supposed to do that, even though I want to be in the driver's seat. If I get lost, I can always blame you because you're the man, and I can argue that I wasn't supposed to be driving in the first place. So she uses sexism against herself to not be held accountable. Even though she wanted to be in the driver's seat. She wanted to be in the driver's seat so bad, she's wearing a NASCAR jacket with all the decals and all the stickers and shit, and she's got on a NASCAR helmet. And she's in the driver's seat. But if she crashes that car, the minute she crashes that car, she's going to take that helmet off, she's going to throw that jacket to the side, and she's going to be like, well, the only reason I was driving is because these niggas are weak, these trash bag dust bunnies. That's what she's going to say. These trash bag dust bunnies, that's the only reason I was in the driver's seat. No, bitch, you wanted to drive. Fuck out of here. Again, just like Nikki's up there talking. I mean, just look at the way that she's snarling. She's snarling like I'm the dude. I mean, she said it during the interview. I feel like I'm the dude. Yeah, I'm sure you do, bitch. I'm sure you do. And quiet as is kept, she likes feeling like the dude. But like I said, I personally, I think when Nikki gets old, after she divorces Ken, because it's coming. Oh, that shit's coming. When she gets old and she gets more mature and she looks around and she isn't so caught up in her beauty and everybody thirsting her and everything, she's going to look around and it might come to her. Unfortunately, black women, when they get into their 50s and 60s, they have these, come to Hotep moments. And then they start looking around and they're like, damn, like I was on some bullshit, and then they want to try to be the wise elder guiding women in the right direction, but it's too late. Because just like a lot of these rappers, when they get old, now they have their little come the Hotep moment, come the Jesus moment, and then they're like, damn, I shouldn't have been rapping about all that negative stuff, because I can see I got grandkids now, and I can see how all that contributed to the negative demise of the black community. Nicki will be on that shit when she's old and gray. She'll be on that shit. Yeah, I really shouldn't have been doing that, because, again, pussy popping and all that other shit ain't cute when you old. All that crap, all that sticking out your tongue and, being suggestive about bust on my face and all that crap. It ain't cute when you old. You got grandkids and shit. Y'all saw that shit with Cardi B when freaking WAP came on the radio. She was like, nah. She ran to go turn the radio off. Oh, nah, bitch. What's goose was good for the goose is good for the gander. You see? But again, Nicki ain't really, she ain't in these conversations. She's just, and she just may be a wild one. She might, Nicki Minaj might be like Brooklyn. She just hates patriarchy that much. She just wants some other shit, paradigm shifts, all that stuff, the wombiverse and freaking, the divine female principle. She might be on that. She might be on some divine female principles, and you can't tell her shit about patriarchy and the community. But personally, I think that sort of mentality is just grossly selfish. It's just profoundly selfish. So because you want to push your own agenda, and even though you know that this shit is not going to work for 99.9999% of the black community, you're actually going to get up on the mic and push this shit, even though you know that this shit is basically facilitating all the brokenness in the black community and split homes and all these teenage boys running around the black community trying to carjack people and shit like that. You know that this is contributing to that, and you still gonna sit your ass up on the radio and say this shit. So that's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. That's I mean, that's all I gotta say about it. But it's irresponsible. But I said my piece. Like I said, these women can come online and can talk all the shit they want. I mean, we got evidence on top of evidence. And again, if you want to, go back in time and really listen to, probably one of the most damning videos that's out there, go listen to that cat food video. Where I got the Afro Samurai as the thumbnail. Go listen to that video. Go in my videos, scroll down, okay? And then when you see the samurai, I forget what I called the video, but it's like Captain Solo or Cap Fu or something like that. I've changed the title a couple of times. But I'm saying, just when you see that samurai, that Afro Samurai with the tan background, click on that sucker and listen to it. For those of you who are new and have not listened to it. Okay, this was an issue, freaking years ago. This was the issue when I came online. This is the issue over a decade ago. It has not changed. As a matter of fact, it's gotten worse. So anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWPL.